Old money doesn't act like new money. They don't flex, they don't flaunt their wealth, they don't try to prove anything. And if you don't know what to look for, you'll walk right past them and never even know they're worth millions. But here's what most people miss. Old money isn't quiet because they're humble. They're quiet because they understand something about wealth that new money hasn't figured out yet. And once you see it, once you understand the unspoken rules they live by, everything about how real wealth works starts to make sense. Here's the difference between old money and new money. New money needs you to know they're rich. The watches and jewelry, the cars, the designer labels, the lifestyle on Instagram. It's loud, it's visible, it's designed to impress. Old money? You'd never know. They drive 15-year-old Volvos, they wear the same blazer for 20 years, their watch cost $200 in 1985, and they've never replaced it. And they're worth more than everyone showing off combined. This isn't about being cheap or about not caring. It's about understanding rules that have been passed down for generations, rules that protect wealth, rules that compound it, and rules that keep families wealthy for 100 plus years. And these rules, nobody talks about them, because if you have to ask, you're not part of that world. But today, we're going to break them down. Here's the first rule that old money lives by. Real wealth doesn't need to announce itself. Think about it. If you're worth $5 million, you might feel the need to show it off. The house, the car, the vacation photos. You want people to know you made it. But if you're worth $50 million, what's there to prove? Old money families learned generations ago that the moment you start performing wealth, you invite problems. Jealousy, resentment, people asking for money, lawsuits, attention you don't want, and the list goes on. So they don't perform, they wear quiet clothes, they drive understated cars, they live in nice neighborhoods but not the flashiest houses, and if you meet them you'd think they're comfortable, not wealthy, never wealthy. Because wealth whispers, it doesn't need to shout. And the people shouting, they're usually the ones trying to convince themselves they've made it. Here's the second rule. Old money doesn't think about getting rich, they think about staying rich for generations. New money thinks, how do I make as much as possible in my lifetime? Old money thinks, how do I make sure my great-grandchildren never have to worry about money? That's a completely different game. When you think in decades or single lifetimes, you take risks, you leverage, you chase big wins, you try to maximize everything now. When you think in generations, you get conservative, you protect, you diversify, you avoid anything that could wipe out the family wealth. This is why old money invests differently. They're not chasing 100 times returns on crypto. They own land. They're businesses that have been around for 50 years. Boring, stable assets that compound slowly. Because the goal isn't to get rich quick. The goal is to never be poor ever for the next 200 years. And that requires a completely different strategy than what most people are playing. Here's rule number 3. Old money doesn't talk about money, ever. Not at dinner, not with friends, not even with extended family sometimes. And this isn't about being polite, it's about protection. The moment people know you have money, everything changes. Your friends start asking for loans, your family expects you to cover things, business partners suddenly want to renegotiate. Everyone sees you differently. Old money families learned this the hard way over generations, so they created a rule. Don't talk about it. If someone asks what you do, you give a vague answer. I'm in real estate. I work with family investments. I consult. You never say, I own 15 rental properties. My family's net worth is $40 million. We sold a business for $100 million. Because discretion isn't just about privacy, it's about security. The less people know, the less they can ask for, the less they can expect, the less they can target. And old money understands this deeply. Here's rule number 4. Old money buys fewer things, but they're better quality. New money buys 5 luxury cars, 10 designer watches, a closet full of clothes and shoes that they only wear once. Old money buys 1 car and drives it for 15 years, 1 watch and wears it for life, 10 really good quality pieces of clothing and wears them for decades. This isn't about being frugal, it's about understanding value. Old money knows that constantly buying new things is a trap. It signals insecurity, it wastes money, it clutters your life. So they buy once, making sure they buy the best, and then they never think about it again. A new money person buys a $10,000 watch, then upgrades to a $20,000 watch, then wants a $50,000 watch. An old money person buys a $1,000 watch in 1990 and still wears it today. Because the goal isn't to impress. The goal is to have things that last, that don't need replacing, that don't require constant maintenance of an image. Quality over quantity, every single time. Here's the last rule. Old money doesn't network. They build relationships for decades. New money sees relationships as transactions. What can you do for me? Can you introduce me to someone important? Let's connect and see if we can work together. It's fast, it's transactional. Old money thinks differently. They build relationships with people they respect, not because those people can do something for them right now. Old money families have lawyers they've worked with for 40 years, accountants who handled their grandparents' taxes, business partners their father trusted, These aren't transactions, these are relationships. And when you build relationships like this, when you think in decades instead of deals, you create a network of trust that no amount of money can buy. While everyone else is chasing the next big thing, trying to prove they've made it, old money stays quiet, steady, building wealth that lasts. You don't have to be born into old money to follow these rules, but you do have to stop acting like new money, stop performing, stop shouting, and stop chasing, and start thinking the way that old money thinks, quietly, patiently, and for generations. The families who learned this long ago are still wealthy today. Now you know why.